Hello, how are we doing? Hope we're okay. Another good night last night we had doing a Facebook Live. Unfortunately, I had some internet issues, and again, I thought I'd do a bit of a re record for YouTube. So, without further ado, let's crack on. So, we have our usual question and answer session at the very start, and here's the question and answer sessions we started with last night. But as usual, feel free to leave comments and see what your answers are on the feed. So, where are you allowed to install a dash cam on the windscreen? That's question number one. There's a little taster sort of question. And do I need to be worried about airbags on HGVs? And are you looking forward to the pubs and restaurants opening this weekend? So I did a normal hello and welcome as usual, but we'll crack on with the presentation. And we'll add me. First of all, thanks very much to Keith Diplock for all the help on this week's presentation. He works for Lytix. There's their web address just there. So with dash cams, it's all about positioning where it should be fixed and how it should be fixed. Then we'll talk about cable routing, airbags, and then connecting them up. So first of all, positioning. Well, we put that positioning sort of thing on the windscreen. So there we have it there. So where are you allowed to install it on the windscreen? Well, as far as the MOT is concerned and the MOT certificate is concerned, you can install them pretty much anywhere on the windscreen. And my advice is basically you can put them anywhere within the wiper sweep, but you cannot put it around about 25 centimeters each side of the letter A, that greyed area roughly on the windscreen there is around about where you can't put the put the dash cam. It's really a no-go area, but anywhere else is pretty much a free go. My advice is really going towards the rear of the rear view mirror. Gets a bit harder on a truck, but we'll go back through that now. So in terms of the car, this is your MOT, you should only fail the windscreen if the view is significantly affected. So if this is actually the wording from the UK government website, not sure if it's any different in the US or in other countries, but this is in the UK. So it's all about field of vision, whether it's going to be affected if it was by tall or short drivers. But the following are only considered effective if they seriously restrict the driver's view. So these are all the sort of types of things: taxi signs, stickers, sun visors that don't close properly, and windscreen wipers that automatically stop. They do say that they can remove sat-navs or air fresheners as well, but it doesn't say anything at all that they should move dash cams or witness cams at all. But as you can see, if only the driver's view of the sky or the bonnet is affected, it shouldn't be rejected, as you can see there. So in terms of a windscreen install, so when it comes to trucks, it's pretty much the same sort of thing. You've got a testing manual. This is the MOT testing manual for heavy goods vehicles, and they're very, very similar to the PSV, Public Service Vehicle, MOT inspection manual, very, very similar. But as you can see, unofficial stickers such as acceptable features example below are permitted to encroach into the field of vision if it's necessary to comply with other regulations. So these will only be considered deficiency only where it seriously restricts the driver's view. So you can see, and about 7th, I think it's about 7th on the list, you can see driver minute monitoring systems are acceptable so long as they don't seriously restrict the driver's view of the road. So driver monitor systems, i.e. witness cameras or dash cams are perfectly acceptable to be stuck to the windscreen. And positioning, I mean, that's where I would position it on a car or a van. If you can try and get it on the so obviously this is a right-hand drive vehicle. It's on the passenger side, behind the rear view mirror is an ideal position for where to mount your witness camera or dash cam. And my only advice to you is to make sure that you clean the area thoroughly. They usually have good sticky applicators on the sticky adhesives, and as long as you clean the area efficiently and effectively, the dash cam will fit and stay there solid. So, cable routing. The main thing and the main problem that you can have when installing the cable for a dash cam is the issue is it's got to either go through the roof lining or into the roof lining area and down the A-pillar. Now, all along the roof area, so you can see on this diagram here, we have the picture. Anywhere below there are airbags in these vehicles all the way along the roof line, which drop down, and they act as a curtain, so that when the vehicle's involved in a side impact, the glass does not come inside into the cabin. So it's very important to make sure that your dash cam cabling is kept away. So it needs to go behind, or it needs to be kept away from these airbags as much as possible. So I always say try to remove the A-pillar panel if you can. So if you do move the A-pillar panel, you can basically then have a free area to put your cable down through that A-pillar. So route it behind or away from the airbags. Secure it correctly with cable ties and existing loom clips if possible. And the big warning there for you is, and that's what the question was, even HGVs now have curtain side airbags on them. So be very wary whenever you're pulling back, and just check to see if there are any airbags, even on the HGVs, even on the trucks nowadays. And when we talk about connecting, well, we normally talk about piggybacks for connecting, but how about going to the next level as an installer? Really, you should be looking at sort of possibly going towards connecting directly into the fuse box. You can see there are plenty of redundant areas on that fuse board there that you can see on the diagram. So why can't we use those? A bit of research, actually finding out, and in fact, this is what I did with this particular vehicle. I found out that you could use some of the redundant fuses, and that's what I did. I actually used some of the redundant fuses to do the install. But there are other ways. You can solder to a wire and then fuse it. You could use the fleet management system, the fleet management plug on the fleet management system. I'm sure you're aware of these now. Most HGVs, I should say, carry a fleet management or fleet management system plug, and they could be connected to that. The slightly dodgy one nowadays, because the manufacturers don't like using them, is the OBD connector. You could possibly use the OPD connector. But when it comes to HGVs, you could use the bodybuilder plug, or you could actually do a bit of research, look to see if there's an actual manufacturer connection available to you. I know, for instance, that Ford light commercial vehicles actually have a physical connection that you can use, and it's available on all their light commercial vehicles. please drop me a mail if you did want the information. I can provide you with that information. So there's no question and answers tonight, folks, because as I say, I've had to redo the video because there was the video quality just wasn't that good on Facebook last night for some reason. But thanks very much for watching. If you do have any queries or questions or anything, you can find me on my website. There's my website address there. But next week, that's next Wednesday, we'll be talking maybe about DVS, hopefully. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.